Alrighty, Veronica. Thank you so much for allowing me to record this part of the interview. So we're going to go ahead and just get started. So why don't you tell me a little bit about some of your admin experience? I see you've worked a couple different places. You've worked auto tags. It looks like maybe you were living in Pennsylvania then.
Yeah.
Okay. You've done some sales, some call center work, in addition to customer care over at Hudson's in Ormond. So why don't you tell me a little, we'll start with Hudson. Tell me a little bit about like what your day looked like. What type of work were you doing there for that position?
So I was basically like the customer care specialist. I was the liaison between the customers and all of the other departments in the building. I ran customer accounts basically. So every morning come in, check my email for purchase orders, quote request, just any type of questions that people would have about, the status of their orders, et cetera, meetings. Every Monday, I'd get an open order report from different customers that I'd have to follow through and complete. That way, everyone knows that we're all on track with everything. And same thing with forecasts when they would come in. Um, and then just work with quality and the production managers if we would get RMAs, or if a customer provided like some type of new drawing or a new spec. Just kind of work with everybody to make sure that everything was always up to date and up to code. And because they were AS 900, 9000, AS 900, one of
Or
those like
the system?
uh no,
Oh,
their qualifications and stuff like
mhm.
that, like their type of certs. So everything had to be to a certain um like code quality.
Okay. And then I see you also had some call center experience. So tell me, was that inbound calls or were you doing outbound calls?
They were outbound calls.
About how many were you making a day?
Oh my goodness, I honestly couldn't even tell you because it was an automated dialer, so
Oh, just
it
dialed automatic.
yeah, it just dialed automatically.
So if
If
it was automatic dialer, you were probably at like maybe 40 an hour, I would guess, right?
maybe that sounds about right.
Yeah, I want to say that that's
Maybe
what the
more.
automatic dialer does. I mean, it's been a long time since I've worked with that, but if we were to say about 40 an hour, because I know how that works, and an 8-hour shift, then we'll subtract 40. Yeah, so you were doing upwards from like 280 calls a day, outbound
Yeah.
calls. Okay. So outbound calls. Okay. And then when you finally got someone on the phone, if it wasn't like going into the next call, like if you got someone that you were talking to, so you were doing vacation sales and you were a closer for them?
Yes. So basically I started off as what they called a fronter. Basically I was the first person that the customer would speak to. I would just introduce like the details of the vacation. They were timeshare packages.
Mm-hmm.
Just introduce the details to them and see if they liked it, and then if they liked it, then turned it over to a closer. And then maybe like 2, 3 months after being a fronter, they moved me to a closer. And then from that aspect, I was responsible for basically just making sure the package got sold, offer them any type of gifts or rewards that we had for them going. If they had any questions, answer any further questions. And then I was also responsible for taking their credit card payment information.
Gotcha. Okay. And then you also worked in a school. So tell me a little bit about what you did there.
Oh my God, I love working at the school. So I was the front office lady. I but they were a brand new school. Like they had literally just that was their first year ever opened, brand new construction. So they were still trying to find their footing with everything. So I played a lot of roles while I was there. I played substitute teacher sometimes. I played the lunch attendant, sometimes a school nurse. So I kind of did a little bit of everything, but just like your usual, office stuff, answering emails, filing, making copies, scanning things, um, and then just helping out. wherever, planning things for the school, like award ceremonies and field trips, and try to get sponsors for things.
Okay, great. And so what are you looking for now? Like what's the goal? What's the ideal position?
Um, the ideal position, just probably just something more, admin, clerical type, something that I can just go in and continue to utilize my skills. I have a lot of, like Microsoft, all of their different programs, different data entry and stuff like that. Just something that, I mean, I wouldn't mind the same routine every single day, but just something where, I've always got something to do. That's
Okay,
I enjoy that I enjoy that aspect as an admin, because I feel like a lot of the admin jobs that I've had, I've always had something to do.
of course. And then you were talking a little bit about your software proficiencies. So and I saw on your resume you type pretty fast. Is that
Yes,
still accurate? Okay. Tell
yes.
me about your typing speeds. What are you thinking?
I think the last time I took it, it was fifth. I can't remember if it was like low 50s or like mid 50.
Okay. Microsoft Office and Google. Would you be open to an assessment? I send you a quick one. We can do an
Yeah.
updated. Okay, I'll send that over to you. What about Google? Do you work with them at all?
I mean, like in my personal
Mhm.
life, yeah, like, I Gmail, Google Docs,
Oh, okay. So
Google
Google
Drive.
platform.
Yeah.
Perfect. The fact that you know what the names are, that that is something. It's so easy to
Yeah.
use the Google platform, but a lot of people just don't use it. Like I've never before this job, several years ago, I never accessed Google. We always used Microsoft Office. So
Yeah.
being able to, have the versatility to kind of go in and use it, it's very, very similar, but there are, a few nuances. So I'm going to go ahead and note it that you do use that. Let's see here. We've got call center experience. We've got Microsoft. I'm going to also send you an Excel assessment as
Okay.
well that will give you, a good idea as far as what your Excel is. It's a basic Excel, so don't
Okay.
use shortcuts. You want to actually go through and
And click
like
everything.
if you're like wanting to actually like insert a row, go
Mhm.
up to the top and do like insert and then insert your row instead of using a shortcut that you've picked up and learned along the way. The system's just not that smart to recognize it. All right. Great. I'm going to go ahead and stop this part of the interview, but don't go anywhere. We got a few more things to chat about.
Okay.
Thanks.